Okay, so hello out there. Irene and we're doing a collaboration and we're going to be um redoing one of each other's works in our own style with our own spin. That's what we're doing. Um
Yes.
so if you'd like to talk about yours and then I'll talk about mine.
Uh, well, yeah. Except, well, I was kind of expecting you to start, and then I would follow because. But I can
Yeah.
start. That's fine. That's fine because I am really excited about this. I think this is really something different for me because I've never done a collaboration before like this. So, but yeah, so just like you explained, we decided to do a piece of each other's that we like and just redo it in our own style. And I chose your beautiful painting of Marie Antoinette with her crazy hair. Well, obviously it's a wig, but with the ship on it. And yeah, I love that video. That was really cool. So I have done. I did the first sketch here, and yeah, it's messy because I had to cover up a lot of mistakes. So that's why there's a lot of black ink on there. But and then from there, I just traced it onto watercolor paper, and hopefully my lighting isn't too bad, so that you can kind of make
Probably
out
better
what
than
the plan is.
mine. I look like the moon.
So, and I did do a preliminary color test here. I'm not really sure that I'm going to stick with this plan, but anyway, it was just a test I was doing.
Yeah.
So that's that. So how about you tell me what you're doing? Because I still don't even know.
Well, what I'm doing is you had done this gorgeous rendition of an old pin-up painting of a witch on a broomstick, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. I want to do something like that. So this is mine here. I don't know if you can see it
Oh
properly,
my goodness, look at that.
but yeah.
Oh, all right.
So I'm so
really
excited for this. But yeah, that was my idea because like it looked so cool. I was like, I want to do one of those, you know?
Now, have you seen the painting online?
Oh
Because
yeah,
that
I followed
original
the
painting,
link on your video and had a quick browse, quick look. Got to page 6 and I was like, oh, there she is. Um, so yeah.
a lot of paintings. Yeah.
So that's what's going on. I am going to set my alarm and put this on.
Well, I cleaned up a little, so I have clean water in my jars. I cleaned out my palette, so I picked out my brushes, and I think I'm ready to start. Or how are you along?
I'm ready. I've got my paints, my little tubes. I've got a whole set going on here. I've like got just boxes and things set up on my bed. Like a real professional artist, you know. If you're not painting in bed, then you're not committed to your work. Um, but yes.
I can't argue.
So yeah, that's it really. That's how my setup's going. So
Now, I think you said you like the Daniel Smith paints, right?
oh yeah, I love the tube paints. Don't know about the pans though, but the tubes are definitely like 10 out of 10, I'd say. Um, they're they're very pigmented compared to other paints I've tried, but I think that's a thing with tube paint in the tubes. They're like more pigmented than pans, but also like I really like Schminker. Like, look at her, she's stunning. I've made a mess of it, but they're such strong colors. Ooh, I've stuck my brush to my paint. That's talented. Okay.
See, I thought I knew what I was gonna do, but now I'm like frozen.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go in with black because you can't go wrong with black. Even though they tell you at uni not to use it. Black is illegal, and I'm like, I'm gonna use it anyway.
It strikes me as a bold choice.
Yeah. I think it's just good for like everything and for like contrast. Not to sound like emo or anything, but black is pretty good. Yeah, I like it, but they always tell you not to use it.
It's like drama.
Yeah, it's very dramatic. I'm not sure how this corset thing's going to work because I really didn't think this through. So, wish me luck.
You don't need luck. You got talent.
Oh,
You
bless.
got the skills.
What do you think? Okay, discussion time. Are you ready? What do you think of the word talent? Like, when someone's like, oh, you're so talented, are you like, thanks? Or are you like, hey, I kind of had to work to get here?
Yeah, it's one of those difficult words because I think when I think when someone says that to someone, I think it comes from a sincere place.
Yeah,
People are
definitely.
complimenting you, and they believe that yeah, you know, you do good, you're awesome, and they're complimenting you, and it's a sincere compliment. At the same time, I can understand why someone on the receiving end might feel like, well, that's nice, but there's a lot of work that went into it.
Yeah.
It's not just talent. It's things that you do and you've learned and you've practiced with, and it's an earned skill a lot of times. So I can see where it can be taken in a different way. And sorry if I kind of lose my train of thought because that just happened. It happens more and more as the years go on. But yeah, so I can see where people look at that in different ways.
Yeah. No, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I think some people mean it as, like, they obviously mean it in a good way, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I've, like, earned this, I guess. Like, I've worked hard to get to where I am. It didn't just happen. Like, I didn't just pop out of the womb with a paintbrush painting, like, Leonardo da Vinci, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Right, and I think to a certain extent, you know, talent is a real thing. It can be something that you as an individual are just I don't know, prone to art, creativity, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe there's something there, but I think a lot of it is down to just learning it.
Yeah, and passion as well.
And learning. Yeah.
Like, I think if you're passionate about something, you can pretty much achieve anything. So, yeah, I think that's kind of my stance on it. Like, I've had a lot of people just assume that, like, it doesn't require hard work and, like, just be like, oh, wow. Like, I wish I was as good as you.
You just have talent for you, where well, it's not always the case.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't say that I am, like, inherently great at painting. Like, I only started watercolor painting, like, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, if that. Um, like, I had to teach myself. I didn't start out well. I might actually insert later a picture of my first watercolor painting because it's pretty horrific. I did it was a painting of Tweety Bird, um, and
Oh,
my
okay.
god, it was interesting. It didn't even look like watercolor. I was not using the watercolor as watercolor, let's say. I was like, this is acrylic in my mind. But yeah, it's like it takes
Well,
a lot of work.
it's I mean, I haven't done a lot of painting. Um, High school art class, we just kind of experimented with like acrylics and some other mediums, but that it wasn't really a learning environment. And when I tried watercolors when I was younger, I was very intimidated by it.
Mm,
I mean, I thought it was so hard, because I was used to, pencil drawing, and,
yeah,
you know, watercolors was just so different, and I couldn't control it the way I could, a pencil. And so I kind of gave up really quickly.
yeah,
Um, Watercolors. So, I mean, it's taken me this long. I am 52 years old now, and I finally, kind of got into watercolors just maybe three years ago, maybe,
yeah,
possibly. So yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe it was just I was ready to get into it, but I think I wish I'd actually gotten into it a long time ago.
yeah. It's like I find it really inspiring when people just pick up a skill out of nowhere. They're just like, yeah, I want to do this now. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful.
Sometimes people, yeah. I mean, I think in a lot of times they have other skills that help
Yeah,
uh, with that, but if they've done other drawing or another medium or something, and they've just are trying out a new medium, and it's like, well, maybe they're already have experience in some kind of creativity or arting in some other way. But
yeah,
who knows? Maybe they don't have any kind of experience like that. In which case, wow, good for you.
yeah, absolutely. So, what was it exactly that made you think, I want to do watercolor?
I It wasn't really like a choice. I just my niece, my teenage niece, asked me to go and do some arting with her at her place, because she was really into trying out different drawing and painting and different mediums, and she was into watercolors at the time. I said, oh, okay, I've got nothing better to do. So
Yeah,
I went over, and she had all the supplies. She had the papers and the paints and the um, brushes, and I was like, so I just used what she had, and I thought, hey, this is fun. So we've kind of been we kind of got into doing that every once in a while, um, just getting together, arting, and having fun with it.
yeah,
And I really got to like the watercolor medium through that.
yeah. That's really sweet. Just chilling out with family.
Yeah, yeah. How about you? Is watercolor like a favorite medium of yours, or do you have other
Um,
mediums that you like?
well, I'd say it's probably my favorite at the moment. I'm kind of getting into ink a bit as well because it dries faster and it's more pigmented, so like I don't need to do all these layers and spend an insane amount of time layering. But I did
Right.
start out drawing. I drew for a really long time. Um yeah, right up until I started doing watercolor, I was pretty much drawing. I'd done a few acrylic paintings, but nothing much really. Um but they were kind of these like almost hyper realistic artworks that just took way too long to do. And like it got to the point where I was like so drained after finishing a work that it wasn't even rewarding anymore by the time I finished
Wow.
it. And I was getting like, sometimes I was getting commissions and I'd get paid like 85 Australian or something like that. And my mum would be like, "Oh, that's so expensive though." And I'm like, "But it takes me like over 24 hours to finish something." Like of actual
Right.
drawing time. It was ridiculous. And like I was getting RSI. I was like, "No thanks. I'm good." And then I sort of picked up watercolor because I saw like a lot of um illustrators I really like work with watercolor and ink. I was like, I want to do that. And it wasn't easy getting to like understand it. Um, Going from like drawing and everything being so precise to having a lot less control, like you were saying. It's like, it's scary, it's intimidating, but I think it's worth it. Like once you get to know like what you're doing and you know what paper to use and what brushes to use, what paint to use, it's so worth it in the end, I think. But yeah. Sorry if I'm
And
like talking too
you know,
much.
not at all, not at all. I wanted to know that what your thoughts on are on that, uh, uh, and like you said, it's about the characteristics of the medium. It's the look I've seen people getting with watercolors. I just think is amazing.
Mm.
The kind of looks that we get. Some of these people who do like florals and landscapes and animals and portraits. It's like, oh my gosh, that's watercolor.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. Yeah, I wish, in my dreams, I'm that kind of a painter. It's like, I can. It's awesome. That's the fantasy.
Yeah,
But
I get that.
have you ever watched Louise Demasi?
I don't
Her,
think
her
I have.
Oh my gosh, her florals and her animals are they look real there, but at the same time, they have the beauty of the watercolor look.
Yeah.
So very good.
No, I love that. Like, still being able to know that it's watercolor, but it just looks so incredible and like, that's amazing to me. I don't know. But I do like a traditional illustration, I guess. I like things to look very enchanting.
Yes, yes.
Like I think I was talking to
That's
you
what.
about Adam Ola's the
Yes.
yeah. I just I'm obsessed with his work. Glad I'm putting this out in the internet for people to know. Um, I have an obsession, everyone. But yeah, his work phenomenal. I wish I
Yeah.
was that good and that creative. Like I wish my imagination was that good, if that makes sense.
Well, I hadn't seen his work before, so when you mentioned him and I checked him out on his Instagram, I thought, wow, that's exactly the kind of artwork that I would love to follow. So I
Yeah.
followed his Instagram. Yeah, you're right. It is amazing.
Mm. Like, oh, just skill and imagination together, like having both of those is just like, yes.
see, that's what drew me to your YouTube channel. I don't remember, which was the first video I saw, but I remember just being just won over by your style.
Oh.
I guess you call it aesthetic. It's just very appealing to me, and it's cool how you've tried different mediums. I like that you did some mixed media pieces. The one with the branches. I think
Don't
you did a
tell
couple
anyone
like
though,
that.
because I'm the watercolor nymph. I would never stray from watercolor. It's not real, it's fake.
With unexpected medias. So yeah, it's just really interesting to see what you do, and plus
Yeah.
you've done some digital art as well, I
Uh,
believe, and
More so like photography with like atrocious amounts of editing.
yeah, you do photography. So yeah, you're like multi-talented there, or maybe I should say multi-skilled. But
Thank you,
yeah.
thank you. Yeah, it's hard. Like it was really difficult for me for a long time trying to decide whether I wanted to go down which path, because I was very into photography, and in my final years of high school I was winning these awards. Like I won multiple awards for my photography, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm meant to be a photographer. Maybe I'm not cut out for illustration, because I wasn't happy with my work at the time, if that makes sense. But
Oh,
it was just a matter of like learning, and like just learning from things that didn't work and growing from it. So I almost
yeah.
got like really deterred and just didn't keep doing like traditional art, I guess. I almost went exclusively into photography. Um
Oh,
yeah. I wasn't feeling it, but at the same time I was like, I know that I want to illustrate children's books. I think that's kind of, you know, what kept me going. And it got to the point where I was putting in my uni application, and I got an email saying I'd been accepted like automatically into the photography course. They wanted me in because I guess I've got like a unique photography style. There was something still there that was like, I don't know. I don't know if that's right for me. Um but yeah, that was a hard decision to make, like, because I didn't know if I was going to get into the painting course. Um,
sure.
but
Yeah.
I chose that anyway, and I was like, okay, photography shall be my backup, I guess. Because, like, I knew sorry, I knew from my classes, because I did photography classes at high school, and I knew that I knew more than the teacher when it came to like Photoshop and like digital photography.
Yeah.
So I was like, am I really gonna learn anything in this course? Like, is it going to be worth my money if I already know, like, I already know what I need to do for, like, to create my style. I know what I want to do, and I don't really have much to learn, if that makes sense. Which is why I kind of thought painting would be more worth my while. And here I am, still painting. But yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense because you don't want to waste your time on things
Yeah.
if it's just going to be redundant.
Yeah.
So
I had a friend who was into photography as well, and she had gone to university to study it and ended up dropping out of both TAFE and university because she wasn't learning anything.
Oh
So I
goodness.
think that's part of what deterred me. I was like, yeah, it'd be cool to be doing what I love, like, as, like, a thing for school full time, but at the same time, I was like, if I'm not learning anything, like, I shouldn't be going to uni just to have a fun time.
Well, it's disheartening. I mean, it's how do you stay motivated when you're in that situation? It's
Yeah,
got to be hard to want to be there.
yeah, and like it's a lot of money too. Um, so like you've really got to make it worth your while, I think. Not that I'm like paying it directly because I live in Australia and I have hex.
So this piece that the original piece that you did of this Marie Antoinette,
Yes.
it was a larger scale than what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
think it was about. Well, it's on my wall. I'll just take it off. It's about this big.
Okay. Yeah, because that's larger than I work in, but I knew I didn't want to be that large anyway because I have not done larger than like 11 by 14 as far as paper, but plus I don't have those skills yet to work on that kind of a scale, so I just did a 9 by 12 here.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just stuffed up. You know when you're just mucking around and then it bleeds everywhere? You're like, ah, no, she's got red lipstick all over her face now.
Yeah, yeah,
But also in real life.
yes.
Oh gosh, what have I done? Oh, it's really going for it. I think this slant I've created with the books is making it worse. Oh my.
And I'm not even going to attempt to get the darks that you got.
Why not?
Because
You don't want to go
I'm
mad?
afraid. I'm going to try and play a little safe for me. So
Yeah.
I have issues with getting good values. I guess is the term,
Yeah.
where you have the different levels of dark and medium and light, and yeah, I haven't really gotten good at that.
Yeah. That's fair. It's it just takes a bit of am I allowed to say this on the internet? Takes a bit of balls. You just
Hey,
gotta
I do
go
it
for
everywhere.
it. You just gotta do it. Like, if you don't do it, you're just gonna be scared of it forever. I was scared, so scared of using any color for the longest time. Because you know how when you put it down, it looks a lot like bolder and darker than it actually
Oh
will
yeah,
turn out to be. I was so
right.
intimidated. But then I just let go and I was like, I don't care. I don't like if you just pretend you don't care about how it's gonna turn out, it'll turn out great.
Yeah.
I know
No,
that
you're
sounds
right.
stupid, but like
Wait,
it works.
you're absolutely right. I totally agree.
Yeah. It's like you just gotta get past it. Like it's terrifying, don't get me wrong, but you just work it out, I guess. This looks so ridiculous. Why did I use this paper?
What paper are you using?
Oh, a terrible one. It's literally the worst. It's called a Araldo Paulo. I don't know. But I googled it once because I was like, is this any good? And the first thing that came up was like an artist was doing some kind of a watercolor painting course and had listed um a list of things you needed for the class, for the watercolor class, and it had specifically listed not to get this paper. Like, no other papers, just this brand. It was like, do not buy this brand of paper. And I was like, ah, too bad I already bought it. So, yeah.
I know, right? You don't want to waste supply. I mean, art supplies, it doesn't matter, if they're good, medium, poor quality. It's like, it all seems expensive.
Yeah.
So it's you hate to waste anything once you've got it.
Yeah. It's just, wow. Yeah. And paper costs so much. Like, good watercolor paper is just ridiculous.
Oh, I know.
It's insane. Like, what business do companies have charging us this much for paper? Like, I don't know if I told you, but I'd spent like $200 on watercolor paper alone. Like a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, goodbye, money. Looks like I won't be eating for the next couple of days.
And you chose paper.
Yes.
Over food.
I had to. It was for a commission. You gotta spend money to make money, right?
Yes. That's right. That's right.
What
so
am I doing?
You probably made the right choice.
Maybe. But also it was extremely large paper, so it's going to take me a long time to finish it and to actually see any of that money, so haha. I really did myself dirty. This is the camera I use for my photography as well, so I just had this lying around. Just lying around. Wow, a really expensive camera just sitting on the floor. No, no, that's kind of how I got into this whole YouTube thing. I just had a camera, and then next thing I had a tripod, and I was like, I could do YouTube.
Yeah, so you just kind of did it just because you didn't have like a plan, like you want to become a YouTube star?
It wasn't so much like I want to become a YouTube star. I was just like, it might be fun, and like maybe people can get inspiration and I can connect with other people who are like doing similar stuff. And also like there's the appeal about it that's like people aren't generally people aren't just subscribing to you to get like followed back, I guess.
Yeah.
As opposed to Instagram, where it's just like follow for follow, people aren't actually interested in what you're doing, they're just interested in themselves,
Sure, yeah, I understand.
Like everyone's out there for themselves. They don't really care that you're there. You're just like a follow count, and if you don't follow back, then they're not going to want anything to do with you.
Yeah, and I can understand people are in it to hopefully to kind of make some money, and
Yeah.
I think ideally to support their artwork, to
Yeah,
somehow support them
for
so
sure.
that they can create the content that they want to create. And I can understand that, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I don't like some of the tactics that some channels use to try and get there.
Yeah, for sure. You want to throw shade at somebody? Is there anyone in particular?
No, not anyone in to do it. It's just, I watch a lot of YouTube, so I kind of see, a lot of spamming as, self advertising, um, self promotion, I should say, as
Yeah.
far as in the way of spamming, and that's not the only thing, but it's one of the things that I kind of find annoying.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, I know there's like a lot of people who are just like purely there to make money from doing the like bare minimum. Like they're not really there because they're passionate about it. They're there because they see
Oh
YouTube as a
yeah,
form of bludgeoning and not having to
right.
work. But, you know, us out here not being
Yeah, I mean,
monetized, we're just here for fun.
well, I want to be monetized eventually. That would be
Oh, yeah, me
awesome.
too.
So,
That would be
but
amazing.
yeah, you can kind of tell. I think when people don't have the passion for the art, like you said, and
Yeah.
they're just it's all about, oh, let me make a buck.
Oh, just YouTube in general, I think. No particular artists, I don't think. Uh, I guess there's a couple of people that are just there, like, making, like, catering to what people do want in the art community.
Sure.
Um,
The trend,
yeah, the
yeah,
trends,
yeah,
absolutely. And, like, making a video every day so that, like, their channel will get seen because they want to make money and get monetized as quickly as possible. But, like, is
yeah,
it worth it if you're not doing, like, what you love?
yeah.
You know? Like,
I
this is a
mean,
creative
like I said,
outlet.
exactly. It's like I said, I would love to be monetized eventually, but I don't want to get there by annoying people
Yeah.
and making a nuisance of myself, or I just I don't want to treat people the way I wouldn't want to be treated. So that's
Yeah.
basically I'm trying to get organic, followers and
Yeah.
as much as possible. So
Yeah. I completely get that. Um, though, like, I do think I want to. Well, I've already sort of done it, but like, I want to like make a video about like my Patreon and get like people to
oh,
maybe
yeah,
subscribe to my Patreon so that I can continue doing what I want to do because like it
right,
ain't cheap and like with like how many charity pieces I have planned out, I'm not making any money from that. I'm losing money from it because I'm like spending money on the materials to make it. I'm taking the time to make it. Then I have to advertise it so that people will actually see it and buy it, and then all of the proceeds go to the cause. So I'm like losing this
yeah,
money to do what I love, essentially, but I don't have any support. It's just me and my paints. You know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. In the ideal world, I could just do this all the time
And
and there wouldn't be
I
so much
remember
pressure. Sorry?
in your last video you mentioned the AYCC.
Yeah.
Did you want? So
Sorry?
that's a youth. That's a youth organization.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's like they have like gotten a heap of like young Australians together to like kind of like collaborate and like be part of the organization to sort of like help put an end to the climate crisis because obviously it's like a big issue in Australia in particular because like we have a hole in the ozone layer and like a lot of people get skin cancer and like that's just the beginning of all of the issues with it. So like
And
I really wanted to do something to help them because they had like I think they were reaching out asking for support, and I was like, I don't like I can't like donate any money because I'm poor, but like I can make an artwork for y'all. And that's how I kind of got into the auction. It was like I wasn't really expecting to hear back from them, but they were like, "Oh yeah, we're having an auction. Uh, did you want to donate a piece?" And I was like, "I don't really have anything just lying around that I could donate, but I can make something." Yeah, it's like it's hard sometimes. Like it's a little disappointing, like because it like when it's for a cause and no one like buys it, like it just kind of feels like nobody cares, if that makes sense. Like, and then
yeah,
I get really disheartened because I'm like, I want people to care about this cause, but I know I can't make people. But you know,
yeah,
just out here like the planet is dying, help. But yeah, no, I actually because I promoted it like one day, like on Facebook, like one day before, um, like the auction was over, which wasn't smart. I should have promoted it like when it started. But yeah, I had like one comment on it that said, "This is Faye propaganda if I ever saw it." And it was like a link to a Facebook group, but I wasn't sure if they were like making fun of me or not, or if they were like, come join this group.
yeah.
So I just like heart
It
reacted
sounds
to
like
it anyway.
I wouldn't know what to make of that either.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because someone heart reacted it who had heart reacted to the post, and the person who posted it heart reacted to the post. And then there was also someone who laugh reacted to their comment and didn't pay attention to the post, I guess. So I was like, is this like, I don't know, are you mocking me? I can't
Well,
tell.
yeah, it's hard to sometimes intentions don't go over exactly the way they should in
Yeah.
comments, so you can't tell for sure
Yeah.
if there was any you know uh, critical or intentional about it. Sometimes
Yeah.
it just comes across and a little weird, and you know
Yeah.
so I always like to just think, well, I like to think there wasn't anything mean or
Yeah.
intentionally critical, unless it's blatant.
Yeah.
Like, you suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great that uh, you have organizations like that
Yeah.
uh, make it possible for people to contribute and do what they can and to try and help and good causes.
Yeah. I think in future though, um I think I'd probably just do it myself, like reach out to organizations and like tell them what I'm doing, or like ask them if it's okay for me to like promote their cause and like do an artwork um to raise money for it. But I think I just like stick it on Etsy and just have it as a fixed price, because auctions are like terrifying to me because like you don't know like if the right person's gonna see it in time, like,
Right.
you
There's
know.
such a set time limit on it,
Yeah.
isn't there?
um and like I got really lucky last time I held my own auction um for the bushfires, because I did have a buyer who had like spent a decent amount And for a while I was like really worried, and um my boyfriend at the time had actually bid like $10 on it to cheer me up. And I think my mum might have bid on it. She went to go bid on it to support me. But I was like, "Oh my god, nobody cares. No one's going to do anything about it." Um like people are suffering, and like yeah, I was a little disheartened. Um but then like this lovely lady came through and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you are a gem."
See,
Yeah. Like you just never know
so yeah,
like who's out there.
but like you said, I mean, it could be just bad timing in
Yeah.
some cases, right?
I mean, now is probably like the worst timing to do something like this.
Yeah.
With like people not doing so well financially. Um but yeah, I think if I can, I'll set it up on Etsy so people can just like buy it at their own pace.
Yeah,
Like the
I think,
koala.
yeah, right. The koalas.
Yeah, save the koalas. Oh, I
We've
am.
had
Sorry,
we've
continue.
had wildfires here on the west coast in the U.S.
Was that set
and
off
I'm in
by
Los.
the by someone's baby shower?
I think it's. Uh, I think that was a separate issue.
Oh, okay.
That was a separate event. Um, I think the fires are probably has a lot to do with the climate issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yes, the conditions have been very dry and hot, and you know, it's just right for fires. So
Yeah. That's unfortunate. I remember my mum saying that it's like a lot hotter now, like in summer, than it was when she was a kid.
yeah,
Um, but what was the other thing? I was reading something. I don't know if this is accurate because it was a while ago, but they thought like according to patterns throughout history, we're supposed to be entering like a mini ice age or something, but we haven't because of the climate,
yeah,
which it
that's
like
interesting.
wow. Like if that's true, then wowie. Like we've really done some damage to the environment.
Well, let's hope it's not too late.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that at least the younger generation, I think, in general, takes it very seriously.
Yeah.
So that's good to.
Well, some of us.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's more like it depends on your demographic. I think people who, not to throw shade or anything, but I think that people who come from like wealthier families or like better backgrounds, I guess, don't get exposed to or affected by like general issues as much as like lower class or like working class people.
Sure. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Because like
Yeah, that's probably
yeah, I like know a lot of people that it's like very interesting talking to people from like other unis, um, like universities that are way more expensive, like people who their parents are paying for their uni, like can afford to do that. Like their views as opposed to views of someone who say goes to my university
sure.
are very, very different. And like
And
we're
I
from
guess
the
that
same
makes sense.
place, you know?
If you're in a privileged situation, yeah, a lot of things aren't going to bother you. You're not going to worry about a lot because you've got a lot of things that are basically set for you, and
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about where you're going to get your next meal. You don't have to worry about how you're going to pay rent. You don't have to worry about a lot of things,
Yeah.
social injustices. So, you know, I can understand that people who are in better situations, yeah, they probably aren't going to worry too much, or even maybe even not even admit that there's a problem. So
Yeah. Yeah, I've been in like situations where people from like more well-off backgrounds, I'd say, have just laughed at me for like my
sure,
views, and I'm like, just because it doesn't affect you, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, you know? Like,
right,
I think it's hard for some people
that's,
to see past their privilege, if that makes sense. Not
yeah,
saying that I'm not
absolutely,
privileged, because of course I am. Like, I am white. I have somewhere to live. Like, I have a roof over my head. Like, you know. But
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we all have our different ways where we have things better off than the next person,
Yeah.
whether it's financially, or through education, or just through your skin color. Somehow, each of us has something that's better and worse
Yeah.
than the next person. So,
Yeah.
which is why it's really uh, sad to see that people can't just kind of try and see through the other person's eyes,
Yeah.
experience, instead of just their own.
Like, I think empathy is like such an important thing to be able to have, you know? Like
Sure, absolutely.
it really sucks when you see people like Jeffree Star just taking advantage of
It's
people and just not caring about anyone but themselves.
it is painful. It is painful to see bad things happen.
Yeah.
But thank goodness for art, right?
Yeah. Yes. Thank goodness for art. The little escape. But yeah. Oh, this is not sponsored, by the way. Let's check that. I was just gonna say I saw an ad on a YouTube video like a week ago or so. It's this app where you can spend like you can just donate like 80 cents like whenever you feel like it, and it pays for a starving child's meal for that night or that day. And I was like, that is such a
Not
beautiful idea.
yeah.
Like, if everyone had that on their phones, like, and was using it, that'd be sick.
It'd be a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's like, it just frustrates me that there are people out there who have, like, most of, like, the world's money, you know? And it's like, why do you need that much money? Like, you could be helping so many people with that.
It is so messed up.
Mm-hmm. Like, how do you even get that much money? Like, people who have that much money are, like, exploiting people to
It's
get it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, this got quite political. turn it down a bit.
I was watching your the other day. I was watching your review of. I think you had like 4 different brands of watercolor paints
Yeah.
that you had gotten and you were trying out, and you had done a review on.
Oh, my little
I
little
think.
baby me trying to do a review. Wow.
Well, I guess it was a little while ago, yeah. But
Yeah.
you've done like Rembrandt and Winsor and Newton and
Yeah.
Schmidt. And I was just wondering if you've experimented more with these brands, or it sounds like you've settled on Daniel Smith as your favorite.
Uh, I don't know. I'm very torn. Like, I really liked pretty much all of them. Like, although, not to throw shade once again, but Winsor and Newton, I think, has a very different idea of themselves to how they actually are. Like, they're not that great. I don't think they're as great as they market themselves to be. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the brand, but like I've had more issues with their paints than I have with, say, Daniel Smith or Schminker. Like, there's certain colors that are just like not that great. Like, for how much they're charging, I don't think it's worth it.
Okay, yeah,
But I
they
also,
are expensive.
yeah, they're very expensive for the professional colors.
Yeah.
I love their Cotman sets, the student grade ones. I find them to be better than the professional grade, I think, especially for the price. But I do really like Rembrandt. Let's say I'm a closet Rembrandt lover. I don't know what I did with my set. It's not a big set, which is why I don't use it often because there aren't that many colors. But I do really love the colors. The scarecrow piece I did, I used Rembrandt. Um, but yeah,
Oh, yeah, you
I
do.
I love them.
I like
Yeah.
that piece. I didn't realize you used the Rembrandt on that. But everything I've seen and heard of Rembrandt, it makes me want to try them. They do look like they're a really good paint.
Yeah. Right, they're so nice. If I could, I'd get one of the big uh wooden sets. I don't know if you've seen the big like fold out boxes that just have a ridiculous amount of colors in there. Like,
Oh,
I
no.
see them and my heart stops. I'm like, I need that. But then I'm like, I can't afford that. Like,
Mm.
oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, new laptop that actually works for editing or like giant set of paints.
No, please, I know.
Yeah, it's like, it's a bit of a pain. Like, oh man, I wish I had just a big old box of Rembrandts. Oh, speaking of boxes, I was thinking I should do like a competition thing, like a prize, like on Patreon or
Oh, yeah.
something. So whoever like uh does the thinks of the most creative piece or something, I don't know, will win a like a nice box set because that'd be really
I
nice.
think that's a great. Yeah, because it's uh, I'm not a patron of anybody, but I think I know how popular it is, and I know lots of people do that.
Yeah.
And if you've got a Patreon, I think that's a great incentive to get people involved and excited about something like that. I think
Yeah.
that's a nice idea.
I think it'd just also be nice to like, I don't know, give someone something to like get them started, or because like I know I have a lot of sets like after that one video where I bought like several. I think I bought like 3 or 4 sets of paint to try. Um like I have a lot of paint myself, but I know how hard it is to work when you've got crap paints.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would like to give someone like that kind of like a leg up, I guess, so that they can really
Yeah,
get
I
into
like
it.
that idea. That way, they're not, if someone's just starting out, they don't have to resort to getting the $5 set from, dollar, from, what is it? I think I had actually gotten this set from
Was it a paint wheel?
Michael's. It wasn't the wheel. It was the very chalky, cheap watercolor paints.
Yeah.
It's called Artist Loft. And is the brand, and it was on sale for $5. Regularly 10 or whatever. And it
Yeah.
was 36 colors. I was like, okay, I'll try. It was I didn't have any paints of my own at that time.
Yeah.
I just figured, okay, I want to get my own. I've been using my niece's paints enough. I need to get my own paints, and so I figured I'll just get this cheap set because I had zero budget basically for art supplies. And I regretted it. I just did not like those paints at all. They're very chalky.
Oh no, I understand that.
So my next set was the Winsor & Newton Cotman Sketchers box, and their student line, and I wished I'd started with that set.
Yeah.
Because that was definitely better than the Artist Loft.
Yeah, I think they're definitely setting like high expectations for like student grade paints. Like those are the best student grade paints I've ever used. I don't know if you've heard of like Montmartre or whatever it's called, Montmartre, I don't know. But I used to use those, and oh my god, were they awful. They're like, they must be below student grade. They're terrible. And I used to use the little color wheels too, the ones with like the little dry cakes in them that are just not what watercolor are meant to be.
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, they're awful. They're like, they come as like a little disc. There's like 4 or 5 discs stacked on top of each other, and you like unscrew them to like reveal the next set of colors underneath. Like, it's a funky idea, but
yeah,
they are the worst quality paints I've probably ever used.
Oh, no.
They're really terrible.
So you must have been thrilled when you got those sets of all of those the Schminke and the Sennelier and the Rembrandt. And,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
must have been like just.
I was like
tickled.
I was over the moon. I was like, oh my gosh, all these colors to try, all these different brands, and I was like, which ones are the best? Like, I think I kind of did that video a lot for myself to like test them out and like put myself in a place where I had to like do it all at once, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just had the best time. But yeah, it's so good like having so much choice and like learning also not to limit yourself to like one brand, I think is cool too. Like right now I'm using 3 different brands of paint. Like, and there are certain colors I prefer from each. Like I really do like the indigo from the Winsor Newton set and their like Windsor blue, I think it is. And their French, I think it's like a French ultramarine or something, which is kind of like a purple. I'm not sure. But their greens aren't so great, I'd say. um, but I'm also using the Daniel Smith and Schminker. But like, you know, there's like certain things that I just really like. Like I think I told you about this, but the little like cobalt teal or whatever it is. Cobalt teal
Oh
blue.
yeah,
Like these lighter
yeah,
colors, like
yeah.
these two, those you can't mix those. Like I don't think you can. Like not well anyway. So those are really good to have. Just like they feel special, you know, having a special color that you can't make and just looks so nice on paper, like strongly pigmented. I don't know what I'm saying, but like I know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. But yeah, I find those are like worth getting, particularly with tubes, because tube paint, like tube paint, I don't know why I call it that, but like paint in tubes, particularly like Daniel Smith, they're quite expensive. I think it's like for I think this cost me like $20 Australian just for this one tube. Maybe
Oh
more than
yeah,
that. Um,
they are quite here too, and
yeah.
they're even based here in my area. And it's like, why are you so expensive?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Like they're great, but they're expensive. So I find it more worthwhile to try and find colors that aren't easy to make or colors you can't make yourself. Like I find that that's worth the purchase. That makes sense. Like if you're spending that much.
Yeah, you know when uh I didn't think I would ever get any Daniel Smith paints because of how expensive they are, but my partner, producer Mike, he bought me some Daniel Smith paints because he was curious. You know, he's very supportive of
Yeah.
my channel, and so he thought it would be fun to for me to have some, you know, really good, you know, products to try and play around with and try out. So I'm pretty lucky he's able to get me a few things here and there that I can try out.
That's so lovely. I love that. Um yeah. It's like it's good to experiment, but I'm well aware that not everyone can afford to. And I could only afford to do it because I had like scholarship money.
Oh yeah,
Otherwise, there's no
nice.
way I could have afforded like that much paint, especially at once. Like wowie, they're expensive. Even though I got like the smallest sets, I think I splurged a little bit more on the Schminker set because it had this has like extra room for like more paint to add in. Um,
Oh yeah.
so I went for the bigger tin, but it was still a small set of paint itself. Um, but even then, it still cost so much. I think I don't even remember how much, but it was well over 100 Australian dollars. And I would never have like spent that much if I was just, you know, living off commissions and whatnot. But yeah. I don't regret it. Um had a great time. Tried out all the paints.
Yeah, so I have a mixed multi-brand palette as well. So you know, because basically we get things that if we find a good deal on it, you know, if it's on sale or
Yeah.
closeout or something where it's oh hey, you know, this color's on sale, so let's try this. So that's how I kind of we've kind of been piecing together my paint palette. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty pretty good. And it's like I had to tell producer Mike, I said, I have a lot of paints right now. You don't have to get me anymore. If I'll be okay for a while.
Oh gosh. What was I gonna say? Oh, my brain dead. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, in one of your latest videos, the one that you did with the leaves and the gold,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that looked insane. Like, I loved it so much. Like,
Oh, thank you.
those, was it the dark earth tones? I can't
Yeah,
remember
the
what
core
paint you used.
brand Earth Colors. Oh my gosh, it's 6 tubes. I don't know if I actually have it right here. And it's just oh yeah, it's right here. These are these little core tubes, and it was just earth colors, and which I love. So I
Yeah.
was really excited. Told me that he had ordered that for me, and it's got indigo. I've been wanting an indigo for a long
Oh
time.
yeah, indigo's so good.
There's a sand green, Venetian red, Naples yellow, raw umber, and what was this last one? Transparent brown oxide. And yeah, I love them. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And I specifically wanted to use these colors in a piece, so and that worked really nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, they look so beautiful. I was literally, I can't even speak. I was literally crying. I was like, this is so beautiful. I was having an emotional moment. And like, when you added the gold, I was like, oh, my heart. But yeah.
Well, I'm glad you liked that, because that was, it was, I just love those colors, and I wanted to do something that was a little autumnal,
Yeah.
because just like it's not yet here as far as the weather, but I'm just desperate for some cool weather and cloudy skies and
Yeah.
I'm desperate for it. So yeah, I needed to do that.
Yeah. I actually said something really stupid the other day. I was in a voice chat with somebody, like a voice call, and I corrected them on, because they had said, "Oh yeah, it's winter for you," and I was like, "No, it's autumn." I didn't even realize that it's actually spring in Australia. I 100% believed that it was autumn, and if they hadn't have realized and questioned me, I would have just gone on believing it was autumn. And I was like, it's not my fault. It's because my Animal Crossing game is set to the Northern Hemisphere.
Oh.
But yeah, how stupid. I just felt so ridiculous. I don't even know what season it is. This year's been so weird. Yeah. What were you saying?
Oh, it's been forever since I played Animal Crossing. I think the last one I played was the what was the one on? It's an app for my phone. It was the campground or some Animal Crossing camping or something.
I have
It was
no
just a
idea.
small little game.
I just
But
played
yeah,
on
I
the
haven't.
Wii when it came out on the Wii, and I was like, hell
Yeah.
yeah. And then now I've got it on Switch. So I've been playing that during isolation when I'm like really bored. But yeah,
It's a good thing I don't have a Switch. I'm spending all my time just harvesting, getting apples from the trees, and fishing and collecting bugs.
yeah. It's a pretty fun game. I found it's a good learning experience, let's say, because you're learning all of this stuff about like different bugs and fish, and you're also learning
Right.
about flowers. it's a fun time.
Yeah, it's educational.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my excuse for playing it. It's educational.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning something new every day. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's like sometimes it's a little hard to like motivate myself to do things though. I'm like, I should really stop playing this game. But then the other part of my brain's like, no, keep going. You have to finish this garden. You have to breed all the flowers. My indigo is running out. I've used too much of it. Oh, you know whose indigo isn't that great?
Whose?
I think it was Daniel Smith's. Actually wasn't that great.
No way.
I might actually go get it, because there was something about it that I didn't like.
Huh.
The color just didn't seem right. It like wasn't as blue or
Yeah.
something. But I might just test it on here and just completely disregard that like I'm trying to make this look nice and just dump it on there anyway. Oh my god. I've trapped myself with my camera. Try not to break it. Oh, okay. Okay, I found it. Gonna like give it a whirl. A whirl. A wall. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my god. You know when it just come out of the tube so fast? You know when they like explode? Or is that just a me thing? Do you ever get that?
Yeah, it happens.
And it's like, I don't need this much paint.
And yet they don't listen. They just keep coming out.
I don't remember what it was about this paint. I think it was the way that it dried. It just didn't look as nice as the Winsor & Newton. Maybe it was the paper I was using.
Yeah. I've gotten a few tubes of the Winsor & Newton Professional. I was fine with the ones I had. I really liked the quinacridone gold, but you know, I just love quinacridone gold. So I finally got a tube, and it was from Winsor & Newton, and I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I want some nice gold tones. I've just got like gold ink. I just used that.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, but like also you've got to shake it every time to like mix up the pigment in the binder. And I'm also an idiot, so I tipped it all over the rug accidentally with my sleeve nonetheless. And it wasn't the first time I've done that either. I did the same thing with glue once. With the same sleeve. I was wearing the same thing like a couple of years before. Yeah, a couple of years before. I was wearing the same thing and my sleeve knocked over a vial of glue for doing gold accents. It was like for the gold leaf glue, I don't know. But I knocked it over on my mum's rug when I was living with my mum, and she was not happy. And I just bought it too. I was really sad. And then I tried to clean it up, and then I had also spilt it on the painting I was working on. So I went to wipe it off, and it just wiped off the painting because it was a watercolor. It just wiped clean off. I think it was also, actually, it was this painting here. It was like, I tried to do like gold leaf. I don't know if you can see that on the like branchy antlers. And I poured the glue all across this section here. And then I like got the wet towel and went to wipe it, and it just came off. And I was like, no, today's not my day. I had to redo the whole thing.
Having accidents like that. I haven't had anything really disastrous happen yet, but it's always in the back of
Yet.
my mind. One of these days it's gonna happen, and I'm just gonna cry.
Just don't wear big sleeves and you'll be fine. That's my advice to you. But yeah, no, it was a wild time. It was a scary time. And I thought it wasn't gonna come out of the carpet either. Yeah, I think I'm just prone to clumsiness. Like, I do a lot of painting on my bed. So the amount of times I have just spilt like a jar of paint water, just spilt it right onto my bed, and there's like pigment everywhere. I'm just like, here we go again. I'm an idiot. Or I'll have put down a like a board to do all my painting on so it won't tip, but then I'll forget I've put it there, and because my bed, it like, you can lift it up, it's got a hydraulic lift on it so I can store stuff underneath. I'll just go to lift it up to get something, and then the little thing of paint will just slide and fall over and just wet my bed essentially. It's a really fun time. It's a great experience for the whole family. I don't know why I'm like this. I shouldn't have access to like anything that might become disastrous.
That hydraulic lift sounds like a really cool idea.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. That's like, I keep my lighting and stuff for videos underneath my bed.
Yeah.
It's pretty convenient, and I keep like old paintings and things under there as well. But that said, I have a very heavy mattress, so it's hard to pull up to begin with. Like, once I get it to where it needs to be for the hydraulic lift to work, it's fine. But it's so hard to lift initially. It's not good on the back. But otherwise, it's a great idea for storage. Like, I used to keep all my old folios and things under there. Oops. I have coloured in her leg indigo.
Good job.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very talented, as you can see. My real talent is just like messing things up. I try to hide it in my videos, but it's always there.
You know what? This is like almost nothing like what I expected this to look like with my version here. So
it looks so good.
It's okay. Thank you. I think it works, but it wasn't at all what I had in mind. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so good. I love it. I'd even say it looks better than mine. But as you know, I don't really like mine.
I remember your reaction when I said I wanted to do that. It's like, please.
Please do it. Make it better. Oh gosh. I think it's just the proportions that I mucked up on mine. Like, if you look at it, like, she has a very long face because I done it like across my bed, lying flat on a piece of timber. So from my perspective, it looked fine, but then when I took it off, the board, I was like, oh my god, she has the longest head of all time. Why the long face?
It looks stylized and it looks good. So it works.
Like, if I could just go like that with it and just change yeah, it'd be fine, you know? But yeah.
In your video, when you showed the is it this sped up
The
version of
speed
when you
painting?
painted it? I think you mentioned that you were inspired by Rachel Maxey,
Yes.
one of her videos.
Yes.
And I had just recently discovered Rachel Maxey, like earlier this year on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was kind of blown away. She's like totally, she knows what she's doing, doesn't she?
Yeah. Like, just that whole group of creators, like, in, like, vintage fashion. Like, Carolina Zabrowska, Bernadette Banner, like, that whole group, like, they're so, like, incredibly skilled at what they do. And there's so much, like, research involved. I'm like, wow. That is insane. That is insane to me. Oh, I forgot to reset my camera. But yeah, like what they do is so inspiring. Every time I see a video, I'm like, man, I should just quit everything and start sewing. But then I remember that sewing machines don't really like me that much. And I also don't know how to make clothes that well.
Well, you did a good job on your, you did the mask, the face mask.
Yeah, thing is, masks are so easy because they're just like a little rectangle. You don't really have to put much effort into it. There's a couple like darts and things or pleats, but it's not that complicated. But to be able to make something like that complex, like a beautiful vintage dress or vintage inspired dress, to be able to do that and for it to fit you so well, that is such an incredible skill to have. And I really wish I could do that, and I wish I had the time to work out how to do that. But yeah, it's just, it blows me away what people are capable of.
Okay. I think I'm ready to put some bleed-proof white highlights on this.
You're like way ahead of me. I'm trying, but like, I'm so far behind. You're like almost finished, and I'm out here like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's kind of I noticed in several of my pieces that I rush through things when I shouldn't. So it's like I'm thinking afterwards. Well, how come I didn't put more detail in there? Oh, that's right. I rushed right through it.
My camera's just died. Sorry. So mad because I had the battery charging like all night.
Oh yeah.
At least the battery life's better than my old camera. My first camera I bought for my photography that I started doing the channel with, it would die after every second video. So I'd get through 40 minutes of filming and it'd just die. And then I'd have to charge the battery for like 30 minutes and then put it back in and then film and then like do the whole process over and over. So it was really exhausting when I was trying to put out a video a week. Because like it was just taking so much effort just to do it, and like I would try to do it after school too. I'd get home from school and then try and get it done while it was still light outside, so I had good lighting, which was so stressful. And I'd try to film like 3 a week, like get 3 pieces done a week, so I had backup for the next week in case I wasn't able to get anything done.
Sure, yeah.
Like, so stressful. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that I was just like, hey, I don't need to be doing all of this. Like, sure, it pleases the algorithm and I might have more subscribers and whatnot, but like, I think it's
Yeah.
better to put yourself first and look after like your mental health rather than pushing yourself over the edge for
It seems
something,
like
you know?
there's so much to take into account with these YouTube algorithms, and yeah, it almost gets to be I can't think about it anymore. I can't think about the number and the hits and the clicks and what to do to try and be more visible, and it's like sometimes it's overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, I think if you're thinking about all that all the time, it's definitely gonna take a toll on you. Yeah, it's a lot. Like, I very much prefer just doing YouTube for me and not for other people. Sorry, everyone out there, but I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it when I feel like it, not when people like demand content. Not that people like, oh my god, you didn't put out a video. How could you? Because I'm not big enough for people to care that much. But like, it's just like, it sucks that you can't just take a break without, you know, kind of like losing um what's the word? Without kind
Subscribe.
of like losing your audience's attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that really sucks. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And like with people like PewDiePie putting out a video like every day, that's insane to me. I don't know how someone can do that. It just seems so exhausting.
I I have certain things like that I try to do with my channel. It's not I don't think I push myself too hard. I think it's working for now, where I try to do like 2 videos a week. I don't always make it. Sometimes it's just one, but my
Yeah.
goal is to do 2 a week, and it's I think I've been doing this for like 6 months now with the YouTube channel, and I think one month I didn't put up all the videos that I wanted to, but other than that, it's been working out. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy with what I've been doing.
Yeah. For sure. Um I think what gets me the most is the editing. I will just have like tons of backup footage and just not have the motivation to sit there and edit it. Especially if
Yeah,
I don't like really like it. Like if I'm not 100% passionate about what I'm doing, I find it really hard to put
sure,
that out into the world and to actually pay attention to it for that amount of time, you know?
sure. Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't excite you, then it's how can you get motivated about it? I can
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah. That's why I try
And
to. Yeah.
there are times where I've been wanting to put a certain video up, and it's taken me days longer than I wanted it to. And it's like it's like why? It's like so there's been a couple of times where it's taken me almost a week to get one video up. So
Yeah.
it's I don't I've mentioned before, I have a lot of help with my channel.
Yeah.
I have family members that have contributed art supplies. I have producer Mike, my partner. He takes care of all the equipment, lighting, camera, all this stuff, and he also contributes supplies as well. And I have a very good friend where she's she's been getting me some, supplies here and there, and so my niece, she taught me how to use the editing program, and you know, so I've had so much help that I could not have done this if it were just me, and so
Yeah.
if you're doing it all on your own, you have my respect, because I don't think I could even do one video all on my own.
I think you could.
Yeah.
I believe in you, Irene.
It might take me a year, but maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, it's not like the worst, but it's not super easy, especially when you're trying to like balance life, essentially, like everything else that's going on.
Right, and you said you're going to university, so
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get how you are able to have the energy, or the the time, or it's
This is why
that's
I
not
barely upload.
yeah.
uh yeah, it's a struggle to find the time to do things. And it's like hard because I'm torn, because I'm like, I really want to do this, but I know that I've got to put other things first. And with pressure from like clients also, like trying to like get things done before deadlines from both clients and from uni, whilst also trying to do my own thing on YouTube, is really difficult. But I think I'm getting better at it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I've just gotta remember to do a little bit of everything each day. Instead of try to get it all done at once, because I'm just going to exhaust myself. You know?
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's smart. Kind of like pace yourself and manage your energies, I guess, probably. That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah. Because I don't know if I mentioned, but my I went to a psychiatrist, and he thinks that I have cyclotimic disorder, which is a little bit like bipolar, but the like manic and depressive episodes don't last for as long. It's sort of like more frequent, but like they're not as intense, I guess, because they're not going for as long. But I will just go from like very manic and very motivated, like at the weirdest times of the day. Like it might be like 3 a.m. and I'm like, okay, time to clean the kitchen. Like, um, to like being depressive and not having any motivation to do anything and just feeling really tired for no reason. It's like,
Goodness. So you've got extra challenges going on.
yeah, I guess so. I like it wasn't it's like better now, because while I was on medication for my anxiety, it was emphasizing it. Like it was making it more extreme. Like I could not function as a normal human being because I was up and down from like extremely happy to extremely sad for no reason. There were no like exterior things provoking it. I was just like an emotional slinky for the longest time.
That
Um,
sounds exhausting.
yeah, yeah, I really hit the wall a lot of times, and I eventually realized that I've just gotta get off of the medication. It's not good for me. It's not helping me. Like as much as it's nice to like not be stressed all the time, it's not worth it. I'm not doing well. But yeah. I've gotten off that and I'm doing a lot better now. Like the whole period where I was taking it, I don't think I was really putting out much content on YouTube, but I'm trying to get back into it now that I'm feeling a bit better.
Well, that's good.
I can't believe you're already finished.
I told you I rushed through, and it's not a good thing, really. Honestly, I don't consider it a good trait, but yeah, it's a habit where I just get it done, and it's like, why didn't I take more time?
Mine's still so, like, I don't know if you can see this, but like, it's still got so much
I love it,
to go.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It's barely touched, I'd say. Like, I'd probably go with more layers, honestly. Like, I love layers.
We've been doing this is almost 2 hours now that we've been on.
Oh,
that
wow.
We've been talking. Yeah.
Did you want me to go?
No, I don't want to. But I'm saying if I don't see the finished product here right now, I'm okay with that. It will be a nice surprise when you put up your
yeah.
the final piece.
Yeah, I doubt I will get this done like super soon. But I'm happy to keep talking for a bit. So this is around the time that my screen stopped recording on me. So first of all, if you've watched this far, that's impressive. Second of all, thanks so much for watching. This is an incredibly long video because I have an ear infection right now. And I really didn't feel up to editing, but I hope you enjoy the rest of the speed painting, and I'll put a little comparison at the end if you want to skip to that. Thanks again, and I'll see y'all next time.